Well, welcome everyone. It's great to be able to connect again with you here on Zoom for our different call. And we're keeping this conversation going every month. It was one of the decisions at the end of the different event where we asked what should the next steps be. And there was a unanimous agreement in the room that we didn't want to just go from event to event and just meet and talk then and not use the time in between wisely to keep the conversation going about how we can make a bigger impact and a bigger difference through our careers and through our businesses. And so every 6 weeks we've been having these Zoom calls. We've been inviting different people with their stories of their lives and how they're outworking their unique identity and impact through their influence in their sector. And so we've looked at education, we've actually looked at healthcare, we've looked at business. And so it's great to be able to have a good friend of mine with us on our call this evening. And my good friend Kelly is also going to be with us at the next event. So this is a bit of a get to know her online before you can get to meet her in person. So Kelly, it's great to have you with us this evening.
Oh, thank you. Nice to be here. So obviously, if you guys don't like me, just let Garrett know so I don't have to show up September. That's what he meant right now. So.
Oh, not at all, not at all. I'm sure that once they hear you, they hear your story, they will really, really want to come and introduce themselves to you. And Kelly has got an incredible story, and she's doing some incredible work right now. And so, hey, let's first of all jump to a question that I always ask people on our Zoom calls, just so that immediately you kind of understand a little bit about the area that our guests are working in. So Kelly, if I were to ask you the question, what is the problem that you are currently solving through your business? What would your answer be?
That is such a big question, isn't it? I think overall umbrella, if you go to my website anywhere, probably I basically in this season of my life, after hit 50s, I decided to really focus on help people, especially the purpose-driven entrepreneurs, create their identity aligned success. So that is the overall umbrella, identity aligned success. I think because success can be perceived in all different kind of ways. But in the end of the day, we all kind of figure out that if it doesn't align with our identity or who we are or who we inspire to be, we will not feel fulfilled. Yeah. And we probably also, because of that, then easy to feel overwhelmed, easy to feel the formal, and then get into track to the comparison game when we lack of that alignment.
So when you speak about identity aligned success, I'm guessing you've seen situations, or maybe you've experienced it personally yourself, where a lack of clarity on identity actually creates a level of pain and a level of almost resistance in terms of business. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I would say so. I think my formal corporate formal life, I always say. I was a corporate executive in the hospitality industry as a director of sales marketing for luxury hotel, 5-6-star luxury hotel brands. And it doesn't matter there or later on officially become an entrepreneur since 2004. I figure that the leaders, it doesn't matter where they were in that stage, and then whenever they want to go to their next level, it seems they will kind of have momentarily they feel stuck.
Mm.
It doesn't matter that they how successful they were in their previous level. And that moment, I call it's the moment of valley, right? The point of valley. If we could imagine now a graphic, right? So let's say the horizontal line is a time, and then the vertical line is a success, right?
Yeah.
So ideally it would be nice, just vertical all the way up, right? As a time goal, our level of success just go all the way up.
Yeah.
And however, we all know that's a fantasy, right? There's a lot of cookie lines in between.
Oh, yeah.
And then while all those cookie lines in between the cookie line, there's the point of when we dip, right?
Yes.
We have a challenge, we have obstacles. And the thing is, though, you know, as a high achievers and leaders, it doesn't matter which industry you're in, that moment you gotta make a decision when you face that dip, right? And there won't be a enough amount of strategies, or that's a knowledge, or that's a any goal oriented stuff, meaning anything outwardly
Yes.
can help us that right that moment make that decision. Whether that decision we made based on who we are at that moment, and do we have a vision of what kind of leader I want to become in the next season. Based on that, then we will make that decision. And that's where, while a lot of people, I think a lot of teaching and in the marketplace, in the corporate world, it's more like, okay, that's set a goal, what we want to achieve, and that's to figure out how we're gonna get there, strategies and all different kind of frameworks. And we barely talk about what on earth, why that moment, who we are should be doing what we are doing. As we are going on called life, this journey. And every single one of us are in a very different season of our life.
Yes.
Right? If a young corporate leaders, single without kids at home, it's quite different than somebody while is climbing, he or she climbing a ladder, and then have to travel around the places because of the requirement of job. But at home, they also have young kids, right? So that moment, it's a lot of different kind of things. The friction happen that which the single person did not have to deal with, and or the later on the empty nesters, senior leaders, and there are so different stages of our lives. But if we can truly be honest about that, who we are at that moment, then we can truly make the best out of the success in that current season.
Wow. So essentially what you're saying is that there comes a point on a person's journey when the demand of the goal, the demand of the next level, will require something much deeper than what we've currently been operating with. And at that moment, we've got to ask some bigger questions rather than just how questions. We've got to ask some deeper, bigger questions. So I'm guessing that must have happened for you. I'm guessing you this isn't just an idea or a concept that you've just kind of come up with or even observed, but I'm guessing that you've experienced it. Is that the case? And if so, do you want to just unpack a little bit of your story and your journey of discovering that? And then how did you push through that?
Sure. I think I was just way too excited just go on to tell you guys all those things before I share the story. Would be nice just say that, yeah, I was born that smart. I'll figure that out. That'll be nice. But which that would be a lie. And just like everybody else, I went through a lot of mistakes, the stupid ones. And, I was born at a time and a place where baby girls were not valued much. We were just seen as a future baby production machine, and no need to invest as anything, especially education. So growing up, there was, because I was just a child of mysteries. And growing up, there was over 1.5 decades of my life. I would never know what gonna happen to me in the night because my mother and her drunken boyfriends, while she was trying very hard to do her best to raise me and my brother up as a single mother.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, she was addicted to alcohol and gambling. So you can imagine that, the concept of self-worth, wasn't registered in me much at all. I did not see myself as a person of value. And then later on, while, try to climb the corporate ladder, again, I was facing male-dominated situation very often. I think there was an American movie called Hidden Figures. It's a story about a group of blind ladies. They are the hero behind the scene of the NASA, the launch.
Yeah.
And the main character, Catherine, that she literally had to run blocks in order to go to ladies' room during her break.
Wow.
And I encountered similar situation that whenever I went to the ballroom, the board meeting with my boss, or some important business deal, because I was one of the few and worst female young executive, and I normally, either I show up and they will look at me, thought I was the secretary, or there was no ladies' room on that floor.
Wow.
And this is not even that long ago.
Serious.
Yeah. And later on, when I start to build my business, I promote my book in 2011, and that was just an example of I went to I think 2011, that time we don't have much podcast going on, so a major promotion is still channel going through the TV and the magazine, that kind of traditional way, radios. Yeah. And with that moment, our family, we live in US. So after 3.5 months of media training, I got myself some opportunity to New York to meet 20-something different kind of medias, and including Oprah Winfrey's. And there was a CNBC journalist, and we had 90 seconds to each outlet. And when it was my turn with him, 30 seconds in, he cut my pitch. And he said, "Just stop, Kelly." I said, "Okay." He said, "This won't work." And I said, "You mean the pitch not good enough, or it's anything else?" And he said, "No, you are a big girl, so, if I don't tell you the truth, that'll be my mistake." I said, "Okay, yes, please go ahead." He said, "Listen, you are not American. You are not British. Your English accent is not, is not that good. So wow. I don't think that your book will sell, or you are able to build a business."
Crazy.
And that he said it front of 108 audience.
Wow.
And so, that moment, right? We come back to identity. That moment, I'm gonna have to decide, what do I do? What should I be doing, right? I would love to tell you guys I was just so brave, and I was just standing there and right away, talk back to him and saying, "No, of course not." I cried whole night in the hotel room, and I thought, wait, actually, what am I doing here? And I went home and back to Vegas then, our home, and I thought of a lot of things, went through, recall how, the past experiences until that moment. And then I realized, well, here's the thing. I did not die in a car accident just a while back before that happened. And so the moment when our car was sandwiched on highway, I did not hear anything else. I thought, when that moment of life and death, you will thought of, movie told us that, you will see a lot of light, you will hear a lot of some things, but that did not happen. The only thing what I heard is your book is not published yet. And I knew that book, it gotta be meaning something to some people, right? And here I am, I'm standing in front of this person and got totally rejected. I thought of that.
Yeah.
Then I make a decision that in the bottom of the valley, if only one person will read the book and have some impact on that person, then I think that's what I meant to do. So I went back, used my digital marketing skill, 60 days, 13,000 books sold, got to the Amazon best-selling status.
Wow.
But that is not so important compared to when the readers, the letters, the reviews say, save my life, change the lives, and all those things, and that's what it counts.
Amazing.
And that's just one example. And I have so many others. It's not from myself, but it's through over a decade of coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
My clients, their experience that this thing is serious, that today's world, the information world, totally rob away our creativity, our ability to think deep. Everything what we do is every day just scroll through different things, and what that does is to numb our the capacity that our creator gave us to be, because that is the only, well, not only, but the biggest difference between human and the animal kingdom.
Yes. Wow. So that's an amazing story, and I know there's a whole lot more to it than that, but let's just hone in on that, because you could have gone one of two ways, couldn't you? You could have simply shrunk back and allowed the external voices, which I'm guessing would have amplified the already existing internal voices because of your experiences of feeling a lack of worth and value, and that could have shrunk you. Instead, you made a choice and a decision to take what was kind of working against you, and you enabled it to almost work for you. So just help us to understand, what did you actually do in that process? And I'm guessing that you've worked on this kind of valley experience, this moment of, crossroads really that people get to, where they're either going to break through or they're going to retreat. So can you help us understand, what does a person do to push through? What did you do? What have you helped other people do?
Gary, I mean, that you just always ask big questions, don't you?
Unfortunately, yes. I don't ask the simple ones. I ask the big headline ones.
Okay, so I would say, nobody, I think, let me just maybe answer this from two angles, okay?
Yep.
One is from our own capacity. A lot of time we underestimate what we have inside of us, right? And what do I mean by that? It's literally, this is part of my last keynote. I talk about that, how we were made, literally,
yes.
how we were created. For example, our nerve system, you know, we often say that if you dare to be a leader, you gotta have a nerve. And we literally have our nerve are 45 miles long.
Wow.
So 72 kilometers long, 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
So we do got a lot of nerve.
We
right?
have got a lot of nerve.
Yes. And when it comes to the breathing capacity, right? If we spread out all the tissue from our lungs, it's larger than a tennis court.
Wow.
So these are scientific proof, right? And then let's talk about our blood pumping, our cardiovascular system, right? If we stretch out all the single vein and things, it will be 60,000 miles long.
Wow.
So that meaning we can circle around the earth 2.5 times.
Incredible.
And if we're gonna say the last thing about, we often say we need to have a special DNA. We say, you know, as a leader, we are come here to create a difference.
Yes.
So are we really able to do that?
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, each single adult human's DNA, we have a 6.5 foot length of DNA strand in each single one of a 37 trillions of cells. So if we all bounce them up, can be small as an ice cube, but if we all stretch them out, we literally can come between the earth and the sun 70 times.
Wow.
So in other words, what I'm trying to tell you is your capacity literally is already prophesied through your own body. So human actually are powerful.
Yeah. Wow.
So that is one angle to answer that question, you know, because my nickname is butt kicker coach to my clients. So they know that I don't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
The other side, I want to answer that question, say, you know, I always hated when people say they are self-made. Self-made, millionaires or billionaires, whatever, self-made. Yeah. For me, that there's no such a thing as self-made, right? In all the process, in the, you know, since I was a little girl all the way to now, I always have somebody, you know, stretch out their hands and arms and to pull me up, always. And therefore, you know, I came to do the same for other people.
Yeah. And
there are 4 key elements in my 2 cents that in order for every single leaders to grow to the next level, whatever the next level may be. The one is that you have to have a right growth mindset, right? And it needs to align with your current season in your life and your, you know, God-given priority and responsibilities. Yeah. Again, every season, the priority and responsibilities are different. The second thing is you need to have a right knowledge. In today's DNA age, we are not short of information or knowledge, but the just-in-time knowledge or just-in-time learning for what you need right now and not to be distracted to all the shining objects. Yeah. Right. The third is the right growth path, right? The different people, when you pursue the different path, you need to have a right growth path because it requires the emphasis in the different areas. And that requires, you know, the clarity. Otherwise, you're going to be the muddy water. Yeah. You will not be able to accelerate your momentum. And the last thing is the right mastermind. There is nobody can grow, you know, further without in an environment. You know, there is a proverb say iron sharpening iron, right? Also, we need to be held accountable as leaders, right? When somebody high and lofty, we need to be grade them down, say, hey, grounded. But when somebody falling fell down on the ground, we say, hey, come on, we can pick you up. I think that's very, very important for leaders, because sometimes the higher you go, the lonelier you will be.
Absolutely.
So,
wow. So let's just quickly give those again. You said we need the right people around us, the mastermind.
Yeah.
The right information.
Okay, so the fourth thing again is the right growth mindset.
Right growth mindset, yeah.
The just in time, the right knowledge.
Yeah, right knowledge.
The right growth path.
Yeah.
And the right mastermind.
Great. If I could just highlight two of those that I'd just like to maybe just push in a little bit. And again, let's tie this to your story, because again, all these things are things that you've lived. You're not just giving this information; you've lived it, you've tried it, and you've proven it. So, when it comes to the right growth path, what do you mean by that? And what's the alternative? What have you watched people do? What have you watched entrepreneurs do in terms of making a mistake on that specific area that we've got to get right?
Okay, so simple example, right? So entrepreneurs is not short of ideas.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I think leaders are the same, right? That's why we are leaders, because a lot of us are visionaries, so we are not short of ideas. And let's say for the entrepreneurs, right? So let's say when they wanna grow their business revenue, and they got a lot of different kind of advice. Say, oh, you should put a Facebook ad as a focus. Somebody say, no, you should put in the LinkedIn as a focus. Or somebody say, oh, no, you need to put a webinar as a focus. And all different kind of advice.
Yeah.
Right. However, when I got asked all the time, Kelly, which one works? And my answer is, all of them work, but all of them don't.
Yeah.
Right? It depends on, are you really clear on, the other thing I call the power of one framework. That's my framework. Say, are you clear about who you serve? I mean, who you are in this season, and who you serve. And therefore, based on who you serve, what is that number one solution can bring the number one result with your number one client by the best current version of you?
Yeah.
So just fastly say the 1, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah.
Right? And based on that, then you say, okay, because of I am serving this client, let's say the client is senior leaders, so then you shouldn't hang out on the Facebook, you should hang out on the LinkedIn then, right? Yeah. And then based on that, you say, okay, so if I gonna hang out on LinkedIn, maybe I also should look at the content, because I'm serve the senior leaders about XYZ areas.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm gonna create valuable content in that area to contribute to add value. And
that's
then
really good.
Think about the call to action will be, okay, maybe then after you have following a while, you invite them to download something, or invite them to join your webinar or master class to add more value.
That's really
good. And then
good.
the call to action is, okay, let's hop on a call, see how we might be able to work together.
That's really good. So let's just tie this into your story then. If who you are serving from what you've just shared seems to kind of be, I guess, the starting point, which then determines kind of the next steps. How did you come to discern who you serve in terms of the end user, the person that you are going to, add the most value to? How did you process that?
Okay, so a lot of business teaching out there, they would say, okay, let's find your avatar first. Okay, I think you guys probably heard that often. That's find, which client you want to serve first, and then that's find their pain points, and then based on that, so that's then try to sell them something, right? So the approach is okay, but short of they miss the first component is but who you are.
Yes.
In this season of our life.
Yeah.
Because after all these years of experience that I heard so often, whether it's companies, because in US, I actually, because I'm also leadership trainers with John Maxwell. So when I went to the corporation, and sometimes I heard the sales team say, we are not attracting the right clientele. And then my first question is about who are you right now?
Yeah.
You know why? So, there is a magazine, Success Magazine in US, the chief editor, Darren Hardy. So years back that I was part of his group, mastermind groups. And one day he shared this story of before he got married, and he wrote down 30 criteria of what kind of amazing woman he want to marry to. And he was satisfied. The second morning he woke up and he looked at a piece of paper. He started to have epiphany. Well, what kind of amazing man this amazing woman will be willing to marry to? A lot of time as a business owners, or either you serve in a corporate space or you are entrepreneurs, we say, oh, we want to attract whatever caliber and kind of clients. But we forgot it's a mirroring process, right? It's we need to be able to present ourselves the way that, again, that amazing woman, that amazing man, so then your ideal clients will be attracted to you, right? You need to be able to present that. Yeah. And therefore, if we missing the first fundamental thing, is who we are. When we say we, a corporate identity can be the individual identity that moment, then you're gonna have a huge friction to later you try to attract the business in or the client you want to serve. Let's say, I often say, okay, if you today, I give you opportunity, Oprah Winfrey or Tony Robbins interview you, right? So you got huge exposure, whatever your business is. Yeah. Are you ready to take that demand overnight? That people, the demand that, thousands of people right away say want to buy your stuff, then and things like that, because your back-end system, right, your support system, everything, you need to be ready to serve. Otherwise, it got to be backfired. Yeah. That's brilliant. I think that's fantastic. And that's that state of readiness, isn't it? Which is absolutely key. And in one sense also reflects what your true belief is. Because if you truly believe that you will achieve and attain the goals, the desires that are in your heart, the things that you can see in the future, then really your plan and your state of readiness reveal whether you really do believe that or not. And again, it reflects who you believe you are, your own self-worth, your own self-value. And so that's obviously something that you've kind of broken through on, Kelly. And what about this other area of the right information, at the right time? Help us to understand a little bit about that. And again, tie that into your story. I know what to answer, but I'm thinking about, because you added last month, say tie into story. So no problem. I think, again, for example, that when I was training with John Maxwell, so that season of time, I knew I want to up my speaker game, right? Yeah. So that season, then I will not pay attention to all different kind of great things I can learn, but I will focus on speaker training, for example. Yeah. Right? So till I master to whatever that goal, that moment, then I move on. But here's the thing, because I know it's so difficult for us not to get distracted, but have we figured out one thing though? People don't pay for average. People pay for mastery.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you can see my face. I'm Asian. I love sushi, and you know, in Japan, that a true sushi master chef, they need to have that knife in hand for over 10 years.
Wow.
In order to learn how is the right way to cut different kind of fish. So therefore, the sashimi in Japan is quite different.
Yeah.
Here in the Western world, right? It's the excellence, and that's the thing. It's spirit of excellence.
Yeah.
That is rare today.
Oh, I think you've picked on something really important there, and I'd like to kind of throw something in there that I think is also, I don't know if you've come across this, but when somebody has identified that whole area of mastering a subject or mastering a skill, how do you kind of balance that with, because I know John Maxwell talks about, you know, what are the gaps that we often have as leaders, and he gives these lists of gaps, and my gap is the perfection gap. So I'll only move when I feel like I'm perfect.
Yeah.
And so therefore, of course, you know, you don't move because you don't ever feel that you're perfect. So how do we balance, because I totally agree with what you're saying, totally agree with the whole area of mastering, excellence, investing time, effort, resource in the right knowledge for the right season you're in. But how do we balance that with not allowing this state of perfection to almost kind of make us stand still and prevent us from making the mistakes as well? So could you just help us with that?
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm still guilty of it, you know, as a recovered perfectionist.
Are you a perfectionist as well? You're recovering, are you?
Yeah, I'm recovering, and sometimes still guilty of it. But I think I'm now getting really much better. You know, before I probably would, you know, today I probably only put lipstick on and, you know, some eyelashes, brush, and that's it. You know, all day I probably put on the whole makeup and make sure that I look whatever perfect means, right? I think here's the thing. Also, it's required the growth of a mindset here. You know, when we try to make everything look perfect, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What is the focus then? It's a focus on ourselves, what we will look like, how we will sound like, you know, what people will, how people perceive us, right?
Yeah.
I think here is a couple of things linked together. It's that, and then it's a confidence.
Yeah.
And then it's mindset. This all linked together, right? This morning, somebody just interviewed me about, because his topic is a live stream, the talk about confidence, how to be confident to go on live stream, right? Because live stream is live, right? You cannot edit. A little bit like now, right?
Yeah.
So now he asked a question of, how did you, you know, become confident? And the answer I gave is, nobody, I don't believe that anybody born just very confident.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to personally, I think the true confidence is gotta came from a lot of brokenness and failure. Because when we go through the brokenness and failures, we will also build up the different level of empathy.
Yeah.
And when we have different level of empathy, that our mindset will more shift to other oriented focus.
Yeah.
So, you know, before I went on stage to speak, in the old days, I was like super nervous. I'm not saying I don't feel nervous at all nowadays. That's not true. But I'm just saying it's just a level like before I feel super nervous. what would I look like? What if I forget my lines and all that kind of thing? What if, and all about I. But the moment I shift the focus, say, okay, obviously the people came, sat there, they require something from me. I come here to help. I will help as much as I can.
Yeah.
So the shift, the empathy is like, I want to help.
Yes. Yes.
And therefore, then I will not feel that nervous anymore, because if my friends come to me, say, Kelly, can you help this? Can you help that? You know, it's the nature of, of course, if I can, I do.
Yeah.
Right? And when we come to a point that don't ship, right? Just want to hold on to ourselves because it's not perfect, quote unquote, perfect enough. That is a selfish gesture, right? That is like, okay, I have what I have. Can you imagine if that is if that's something like a more physical thing? Let's say, it's let's say it's you invent a band-aid or something, and then somebody bleeding, and then because you don't think that band-aid look 100% perfect, so you don't hand that band-aid out to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, good analogy.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Right. So I think sometimes when I found myself in that moment again, like, if this is a crooked, a little bit 2 degrees, not on the wall, is not correct, whatever. That moment I remind myself, say, well, what's more important?
That's great.
Right.
That's really good. I love that, because again, I think that holds the tension, doesn't it, between the mastery and, allowing the authenticity of who you are to come through, because mastery is saying, I actually, because this is for somebody, then I want to make sure I give my best, so I want to master that. But because it is for somebody, I can't withhold it because of how it's going to make me look or how it's going to make me feel. So I think that other orientation is absolutely key to, like you said, having the confidence, the bravery, and the courage to stepping out. Sorry, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I feel, the spirit excellence and the desire to drive for mastery, it's still quite a bit different than just purely the professionalism. I think for me, the mastery sometimes it's more come from the attitude of, I want to be respectful. So what do I mean is that this, for example, oftentimes I say before the speaking engagement happen, I will try my best to give my slides right before the deadline. Not to the last moment to my event host, for example. And then I will ask as many questions as I can, sometimes like the event stage color, the lighting color, the stage setting, all those, because as a professional, I want to make sure afterwards, when the picture and videos come out, I want to make sure, because the color, therefore I will watch what I wear.
Wow, yeah.
So then for the event host, that time will see, okay, then the picture, the video will look nice. Not like a total blending and then cannot see anything. Such a thing. Or we say, okay, how about is it mic up or it's the handheld? I want to ask, I said, what do you have, right? Because as a speaker, handheld, if I do handheld and then I have the other hand get clicker, that means my hands are occupied. That means I have to prepare my presentation a little bit differently when my both hands are free, right? So all these little things, for me, that is a mastery. It's I'm respect the event host that, because I want to make sure I deliver the best result for that event.
Great. I love that. Yeah, no, I love that. I love the link between respect and the spirit of excellence. I think that's probably not what immediately comes to people's minds, and I've certainly actually not seen it that way. And I think it's a great link. And because at the end of the day, you're thinking, spirit of excellence really is thinking to a different degree in terms of detail, isn't it? And it's because the details are communicating value. And again, this is about, if I'm serving someone, if I'm wanting a message to be communicated effectively, then the details matter, because they're all communicating something, and they're either adding to the message or they're detracting from the message. And so I think that whole area of kind of respect through excellence is fantastic. It's brilliant. So Kelly, you're going to be with us, and we could talk all night, because you're a fountain of knowledge and so much experience. And I'd love for you just to talk to those who are going to be watching this call back and are already committed to coming in September for our different event. And you're going to be one of my guests there, and we're going to have a panel. We're going to have lots of opportunities for this kind of thing to happen, questions and discussion and etc. So what would you say to those that are already coming and those that are right now just thinking about coming? Just give us something that just will encourage people.
Well, I think it's very simple. If you like Swiss chocolate, I'm gonna bring some, so you have to come. That's one. Number two, I'm flying all the way from Switzerland. So if you're in UK, I mean, what excuse you have, right?
Absolutely.
And this is just something much bigger. This is just a starting of something much bigger.
Absolutely.
I think if you go back to all the histories, it doesn't matter if it's in UK or in Asia or in US. It all starts something great from business leaders.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't take our responsibility seriously. For me, if you are in a position, as a leader, I don't care what, as a quote-unquote leader, meaning that if you are influencing somebody, and believe us or not, you are influencing somebody every single day, probably not by your words, but by your life.
Yeah.
And if you are a person that you have a heart to make a difference in a smallest way, and you don't want to use your 24 hours, just a normal 24 hours, then I think you should consider to join us.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's fantastic. And I think that whole theme that's been throughout this call of that being other oriented and thinking about the person that we're serving. And I think the event is all geared around that. Yes, we believe that we can see success in our lives, and success obviously can be defined and described as a number of different things and can be expressed in many ways. But ultimately, one of the things we laid down as a foundation in our first event was that, when we pursue from a place of significance the purpose for why we're alive, then actually we will pass through success. It will be something that will follow us rather than something we have to chase down. And so, I think those that are watching right now that are considering, shan't I be at the event in September? You've heard some great thoughts, some inspiring thoughts from Kelly, and it is about the people that we're alive to serve. I always talk about the big question: in what way 500 years from now is the world going to be thankful that you were alive? And it isn't going to be because of the things that you've accumulated or the trophies that you've won. And there's nothing wrong with trophies. There's nothing wrong with accumulation, but it's going to be about the people you served, the impact that you made, the legacy that you left behind. And that's what this event is about. We are asking the big questions because we believe that there is more in you than you think. And September the 28th is going to be about calling that more that is in you out of you, because I believe it's our human responsibility to do that, to discharge the privilege to serve humankind. And of course, as a person of faith, Kelly's a person of faith as well. And if you're a person of faith, it's our God-given responsibility to use our talents, skills, and treasures in a way that is going to express who we were created to be and to deliver on the impact that we're alive for. So, Kelly, can I just say once again, thank you so much for being with us and sharing some of your story and your insights. And we really do look forward to hearing more from you in September.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my honor to be here.
Take care, guys, and we'll see you soon.